Alright, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for Kill a Kill, episode 13. Alright,
okay.
So last episode we had Ryuko's rage ending.
Yes.
Due to Mako being the bestest of girls. And
that's right.
Doozy
all around.
Slapping Ryuko out of it.
Yes, repeatedly.
It's pretty awesome. Yeah.
Yep.
And Nui has been banished from Honoji Academy's grounds. But she gave a, just kidding.
Yeah.
So,
But by the power of Satsuki's slow walk, she is not done yet.
Yes, exactly.
Because there is a battlefield trip that...
Wait, Satsuki is not done yet.
Correct.
I was talking about Nui.
Oh, yeah. But, you know,
yes,
even though
Nui
isn't gonna go along with what Satsuki said.
Yes, Satsuki has her battlefield trip planned.
Yes.
And they're going to take over Japan.
Yeah.
At least the schools. The schools of Japan.
Right.
Yes.
But those two are one and the same thing.
One and the same.
Real. Yeah.
Exactly.
Come on.
Yes, because no life exists outside of school. That's
exactly.
That's how it works, right? And yeah, Ryuko kind of wants to fight Satsuki, like, right now, but they're not necessarily going to. So things are going to get interesting. Things are going to get militaristic conquest as well with Satsuki.
Yes,
her plan, her kaikaku is going to be executed.
Right, the whole thing with the studying the senketsu and all that, and new plans that she has in the works.
Indeed.
Yeah.
So yeah, guys, without further ado, let's get into this. All right, guys, we're going to start the episode in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, now. Whoa! This music!
This seems more like a trailer for, like, the school.
I know. The battlefield trip. Conquest of the Big Three?
Oh!
Oh my!
Big Three, you say?
Alright. Battlefield trip strategy meeting. Wow. Alright.
There's a lot of organization that goes into something like this, after all.
The Kobe Battlefield Trip Brigade? Ha! Indeed.
Yes.
And they seem to have new outfits, too.
Dang.
Dang, yeah.
Okay. Battlefield Trip Brigades.
Alright. Cool. Cool. Alright. La Gran Couturière. Harame Nui.
I love how they're treating all these characters that are side characters of the antagonists as main characters of their own stories.
Right. Oh my gosh. Yes. She going somewhere? Crazy for you. Oh my, who's in love?
Other than Mako.
Well, Mako's been in love at first sight. Like, like, for real.
Oh, yeah. And she wouldn't call it crazy. She'd just call that sanity.
Yeah, you just call that love,
common sense,
you know? Yeah. A common sense, even better, yeah. Like, who wouldn't fall in love with Ryuko, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, we all know, like Ryuko has a little bit of a ways to go to get to best girl status with Satsuki and Mako. Like,
yes, and Ira.
And Ira. I mean, I don't know. Ryuko and Ira are around the same tier, I would say.
See, the thing is, though, I feel like there's two real main ships. Well, three, because you could ship Ryuko and Mako, Ryuko and Satsuki, but you could also ship Mako and Ira.
Oh my gosh.
And then Ira and Satsuki. So really,
I think the joke of it is that you ship, like, Satsuki is the leader of a harem.
Yeah,
like
pretty much.
You don't ship her successfully with any of them. You ship them as crushing on Satsuki.
Unless
and Satsuki
it's Mako.
Satsuki just steps on them and is just like, yes, bow, you know? And then
Ira says, yes, please, more.
Oh my gosh. Helicopter. Military music. A fleet of vehicles. Like, holy crap.
You know, the episode's...
What?
This reminds me of Nichijou.
Yeah, what is this? Ah! Oh, Mako. Short bus students. That's... Wait. Oh, okay. Ah! It's my mind that's boggled. Ah. Oh. Who's this?
Yeah. I'm in love. Oh. Okay. Formerly of the newspaper club.
Yeah. Newshound. The delay on that! What the heck? That was amazing. But I don't even read the newspaper! Huh. She's sleeping. That's
unlike her.
Sane response after all that.
Super mysterious ingredients.
Oh my god.
Very mysterious ingredients indeed.
Yes. Okay.
Oh. She's really not doing well. Yeah.
Oh. Oh my gosh! What? We are not blankety blank blanks. Oh my gosh. Of all the things happening in this scene. All the tea stays in.
Yep, that's right.
You're the main character!
Revolutionary.
Yep. Mako. Nice.
No, 2 people, because Mako's here too.
Yes, that's true. So put on that sailor uniform one more time. Oh, this is awesome. The call to action. All right. Well, cool.
Hey, the tea finally spilled.
Oh, it did. The Revox Corporation. That's where she's going. Oh, if she's going here, she's going to confront Mama and perhaps Papa.
Or is this like... Wait.
Yeah, what the heck?
I gotta say, I really like her music, Regio or Regia.
Yeah.
What?
Wow, okay. Whoa. Dang. Wow. Dang.
I like how they're both shining.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, Revox covers.
Oh.
Oh. Oh, interesting. Okay. Yeah, yeah, what? Mm-hmm. Why was Nui there? Hmm. Cool, okay. Yeah, yeah. Wow. Subarashi indeed.
Yeah.
Wow. Jeez.
Holy crap. Hostile takeover.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Some world building.
Yeah.
That contempt for her. Life is droll. Okay, I was gonna say it's life. Life is what? Something. C'est français. Huh? Oh yeah, there's the god robe on god robe. Yeah.
Control.
Will she get something also out of seeing the god robe Junketsu used to the fullest extent? Naked nudists. What a redundancy.
Yeah.
What does that even mean? He could be a new recruit.
Sure. Potentially a double agent. He's in the girls' bathroom.
Wait a minute. That's a good point. How is he on the school grounds right now?
He snuck in somehow?
I guess so.
I mean, he was hiding in a girl's, like, stall that whole time. Even Mako's not sure she's okay with this. Don't mention me by name!
Ah!
He's just getting the crap beaten out of him.
Row, row, fight the power.
Yeah.
I too would have a nervous breakdown if he grabbed me from behind and was like, "What are you doing?" In a timeout chamber? Ah, she gets to go.
Yeah.
This like somber piano juxtaposed by just earlier having like madness. Wow. Okay. Oh my god, he led them back here.
She already has the everyone has to start somewhere. Yes.
Jeez.
I love how they all have the same face.
Right,
even though
right.
they're not wearing helmets or anything.
Yeah. Your way and your mind.
This sounds like more somber.
It's way slower.
Yeah.
Nicely done.
Awesome. Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. Well called, Jacob. Well called.
I did not expect this. His puppet?
Jeez. Oh.
No way.
Oh my gosh. Clothing. Clothing. Oh my gosh. The name back on
Did it cast shadow and everything?
She's like leaning on it. Oh my gosh. Oh crap. Well.
No way.
Well. Dang. Oh my gosh. No.
And sniper bullet.
Whoa!
Oh, hey! Hey!
Oopsie! She's slowly lowering the blade, trying to notice. She really means it.
But she's still lowering the blade.
Oh, that's such a shot.
Yeah. What's she gonna do?
Yeah. Wow. Oh my gosh. Dang.
Oh man.
There you go. Dang.
Holy crap.
Well, this changes things.
Yeah, just a bit.
Win!
Okay.
Instead of 1 month of timeout, you get to go! Dang.
What was Satsuki gonna say, though?
Yeah.
Wait. So Satsuki left some of it behind.
Oh.
Wait a minute. Okay.
Satsuki.
Satsuki's playing here.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
All right. Well, that happened. I almost feel like the whole thing of the random person saying, "You are the start of the revolution," and then it turns out to be Nui, is kind of like them saying, "Yeah, no, Ryuko's not going to lead a revolution. That's just not going to happen, you know.
Yeah.
Mako is the one and only person that she will inspire in that way.
Well, also, we have basically a shadow revolution going on right underneath Ragyo's nose.
That's right.
It's what Satsuki's doing. Because,
yeah.
She's basically using her mother's ambition to conquer the world as a means to field her own army. She's basically just like, oh yeah, this is all for you, mother.
I'm picturing Julius Caesar returning to Rome as a conqueror, you know, and just being like, you know what? Give it up, you know. Yeah. I have an army.
All right. Oof. Okay.
All right.
Well, there's a lot of crazy developments here.
Yeah.
First thing, Ryuko is not in a good place.
No, she is not. I mean, she wasn't at the beginning, but she's certainly not now.
Right. What I think this is a combination of the classic protagonist went too far and they're feeling remorse for their own actions and a little bit of shame, which is a theme with the whole clothing thing.
And that's a good thing to have for your protagonist, to have them feel the consequences of their actions, you know?
Yes. But there's the other thing here, which was the thing I brought up in previous episodes, with the whole idea is maybe this was a metaphor for the scariness of kind of the coming into womanhood, with your first monthly, essentially. And the whole idea of going through an emotional valley at some point during that, or maybe even after that. I don't know the timing specifically of it, but there could be a connection there as well, which would make a lot of sense. You know, just having peak amplified everything, and then boom, down in the pits almost immediately after that.
And I mean, kind of regardless of gender, you know, puberty is one of those times where emotions tend to be a roller coaster. So, you know, it's cool what they're doing here.
Right.
I did not expect them to have an episode that was essentially just prep for the battlefield trip. When they talked about it last episode, I'm like, oh, okay, cool.
Here we go.
So yeah, we're gonna go right into it. But then it's like, no, they are.
We have to assemble strategies and battle lines and who's
counterintelligence and get armies in position and
I love them
supply lines and
I love them saying sports club 1 through 11 or 1 through 18 culture club, all ready to go against this school or this brigade or whatever. And it's like, wait a minute, hold on here. I understand that Honoji Academy has its own, you know, training classes and stuff, and they are a little bit more militaristic. But what they're insinuating is that every other school has their own brigade of troops that they'll actually be up against. And one of them was Kobe,
I don't think that's talking beef. I think that's an actual region of Japan.
Gotcha. Okay. All right.
But yeah, otherwise that would be a bit much.
That would be pretty funny. All right, but we also have this whole development with Senketsu being essentially reminding Ryuko that it was her actions that did this.
Yeah, it's kind of it kind of goes with the whole puberty thing, because he's kind of saying, I'm still a part of you. You're the one. It's scary and stuff.
Well, right, but this wasn't a classic example of the demon within going out of control. This was Ryuko going out of control and affecting her clothing.
Yeah.
Now, what I think is a cool distinction there is that Senketsu wasn't raging. Senketsu was sad.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Senketsu was overwhelmed by the rage coming from Ryuko, and it made him cry.
Yeah.
It made him sad to have to experience this via, Ryuko.
Right. And that would have been...
That's a very cool distinction.
It really is. I would have liked to have seen that a little bit more in the previous episode, and maybe it was there and I just didn't notice because everything was so dang hype.
Right.
But yeah, that is a very cool difference than simply exploding things and just going crazy, which was what Ryuko was doing, which maybe that then ties into the whole idea of with clothing and the whole all the stuff that Ragyo was talking about.
Yeah, Ragyo was going straight up biblical.
Yeah, that was okay, all right. This is certainly a thing, but it seemed like what they were basically saying was that clothing was a way to mask yourself.
Yes.
Right?
To cover.
Right, exactly.
The Revox Corporation. If you take Revoc and you invert it specifically, it's cover.
Right.
Which is wait.
So,
wait, is there some huge, gigantic metaphor that even the corporation represents that has nothing to do with corporations?
Yeah, and if that's what it is, why have it backwards? Why not just be covers? I guess that's not cool enough.
It's not cool enough.
But is there like, and that could totally be all it is, but is there like some secret thing that they're trying to do with like the clothing or whatever?
Oh, well, yes, definitely.
I mean, yeah, for sure.
I think we already know that.
Good point.
Like, but like, they're trying to conquer the world, Jacob.
Well, yeah.
They've done it already, basically.
Right, basically. But the whole thing with Ryuko and Senketsu seems like something where the whole point of the God robes and well, the Revox Corporation and stuff is that it's more like, kind of almost seems similar to the idea of the nudist beach, in that they're trying to have clothing that does not hide. In that more like metaphorical sense, right?
Right, they're all tapping into the deeper truth here, in that clothing is something that humanity must transcend beyond.
Right,
while still learning the lessons of what clothing brings.
Right.
Because they're still using clothing for power.
Right, but it seems to be more like what the high-end clothing in this universe is about, is more about revealing your true nature, both literally, physically, and then also in that more metaphorical sense, right? With Senketsu bringing about a much, basically helping Ryuko uncover her true strength.
Right. In some ways helping her find her identity and grow up. Right. I think that's maybe the metaphor specifically with this whole thing with Senketsu and Ryuko, is there is kind of a joining, in the same sense there. And like there's a whole bunch of sexual metaphors there that work pretty well, and there is a connotation between having sex and being an adult in that regard.
That does tend to
but specifically with what generally in society coming of age means is when your body transitions to being able to
reproduce.
Exactly. So in that regard, there is another kind of act in which there's some kind of special relationship going on here as well. So I find that to be something where it's more vague and it's more in themes rather than actual plot related stuff. So it's interesting to talk about, but I can't definitely go in any specific direction with it.
Speaking of that, so when Satsuki went back to her mother, and
which part?
The very beginning of when she
went
back
they're
to her
light
mother.
Shining at each other.
Before that even.
No, this would be after that.
No. Like the very first instance of when we see.
You mean this show?
No. Of
this episode.
In this episode, the very first time that we see Satsuki and Rakio in the same area.
That's when there's lights shining at each other.
Right, but like before that had actually happened, there's a point where Rakio is inspecting Satsuki in a way.
Yeah.
But it seemed a bit weird.
I wouldn't think too much on that. Part of the thing that you're meant to of the thing you're meant to infer that Rakio is the bad guy. Rakio is the main antagonist. This is about as obvious as it gets.
Sure, but also, the whole idea that she makes clothing, so it makes sense that like it's supposed to be fitted exactly, so that would come with the whole inspecting it, I suppose.
Also, this was made specifically for Satsuki.
Right, exactly. Yeah,
and also, this is something that is one of a kind. Right. There is nothing else like it, as far as we know. It doesn't make sense for them to name it and have another thing exactly like it. Even in Senketsu, they're both god robes. They're both very different.
Right.
So I think that's kind of the main thing we're supposed to vibe from that. She's creepy.
Yes.
She's the bad guy. She's like Satsuki.
She has kick-ass background music.
Oh my gosh! The background music for Rakio.
Good.
It's so good. Like, and Rakio coming in and having like this straight up like, I am a villain and I will speak the words of the Bible and have this thing that is kind of like true in that it's like, clothing does seem to be kind of a societal construct thing to mask the shame that we somehow subconsciously have when we're naked.
Which is something that they got into with Ryuko and the whole idea of shame there. So it fits into the overall episode very well.
But then it's like coming from her mouth. It's like, oh.
Yeah. With an army of cookie cutter dudes with sunglasses and everything, while her hair, I didn't notice this in her actual introductory bit that she got before.
Oh, that was because we only got like a
we got a very small amount, and she was just shining in general.
Right.
But her hair actually is like neon and rainbow and glowing light and stuff, and it's like, all right, right. But and then of course the part with her and Satsuki like staring at each other with like the two just glowing light. It's like, okay, we get it.
What I like here, and this is something that I think the show is very handling very well. We are starting to see the birth of Satsuki as the other protagonist.
Yes, absolutely.
Like we knew it was coming. Like we knew it was coming, but now we're actually seeing it. Satsuki is doing the things and being shot in the specific angles of the scenes as a protagonist. And it's like obvious. Like it's like, oh man, if this is how like unsubtle they're being about it now, how many bigger, more important, subtle things are we missing that are flying under the radar, preparing us for other story things in the future?
Super hype moments when. But one of the things that I absolutely loved about this episode, other than the fact that they started it off with Mako, which was, I mean, how badly can it go when you do that? But I
mean, it started with the trailer for the battlefield trip with intense music and stuff
that was
too.
The thing. Even before Mako, they had the whole stuff for the battlefield and everything, and they had Satsuki give her speech to the 4 devas, saying, "I do not like." What was it? I do not like basically think less of you for having lost, to Ryuko with her god robe and Nui the Grand Courtier or whatever.
Yeah, basically said, do not worry about your losses against them, because I consider you to be 4 quality generals. That you all
continue to grow and all this stuff, and
you will continue to mature through your struggling. Basically,
that is not antagonist stuff there. It's one of the best things you can have an antagonist do, because it makes them human. And for some reason, it's even when you have people that are supposed to be commanders and like inspirational and command the loyalty of their troops and stuff, but they're antagonists, they don't get this like basic concept that sometimes things just don't go your way, right?
It's so weird how that's just not often there.
It's like, how did they even attain their position of leadership in the first place, or keep it for any length of time? Even if the hero wasn't there, their whole organization would have imploded on itself just because of their bad leadership skills. But here you have Satsuki doing this, and it's like, Ryuko almost doesn't even need to be in this story.
Do you know what Satsuki kind of reminds me of with less like hardness is Schneisel from Code Geass. Schneisel, the eldest brother of Lush, was a perfect leader. Just amazingly good with people. Charisma just oozing out of every pore. Everyone loves him. He is a ruthless killer.
But he also understands when things go badly, and he doesn't take it out on his men just because, oh no, he's upset.
So Satsuki has that in spades and is fiercely ambitious. Not the kind of thing where it's a laid back leader. So obviously they wouldn't get annoyed with their troops
because they don't care much either way.
I have the ambition, I have the drive, I have the force of personality, and I have the good leadership skills, and then also the rule of cool to just add everything to it. So there's full package, man.
There's forgiving when underlings fail. That's one thing. But saying, no, you will continue to grow. Because you will get better, and because I believe in you and all this stuff. That's
basically saying, I expect you to fail at some point in the future because you're not perfect. But you will continue on your road to perfection.
Because failure is not actually something to be feared. Because that's how we grow. And it's like,
that is what you embrace. So Satsuki, best girl. A big thing to bring up. There were a lot of moments this episode where Satsuki did things that I see what you tried to do something here.
Yeah.
So Satsuki did a couple things that were questionable. Not necessarily as in it's inconsistent with their character, but things that are like, oh, what is your real game here?
Yeah.
And the biggest one is like, she left like
a piece of senketsu.
A piece of senketsu. That,
with Ryuko.
That was what it looked like, right?
That's straight up like, okay, because here's the thing. Satsuki is very much about, she's about results on the surface, but what it really is that she's about the discipline and determination and fighting spirit, almost, it feels like. And that might not be the exact right words to use, you know?
Right.
But the fact that she said she was disappointed in Ryuko, but I get the feeling it wasn't necessarily that she lost, maybe, because I don't know if she actually saw the fight.
What I think it is that Ryuko is being, like, protected in some ways by Satsuki. Like, that's straight up what this was.
That too, yeah.
This episode, Satsuki saved Ryuko's life. Now, another thing. I think that Ryuko was being used, mostly because she had senketsu, specifically to add more data for the Devas so that they could end up, you know, building their army to be a little bit stronger.
And Nui was about to jeopardize that.
Right. But I think that if things had gone along the way that Satsuki had intended, and no Nui intervention or anything like that, I think she was working Ryuko to eventually have her join her.
Sure.
I think that this was all ultimately a thing of like, we shall rule the galaxy, as you know. Yeah, exactly. So the question here, is that, you know, we've theorized the whole, like, you know, because this is the other thing, like, we've theorized there being some kind of connection between them, like, you know, like all kinds of things there, you know, whether they're family or not or whatever. But there does seem to be this thing where Satsuki is like, it's not Aizen where it's like, I'm going to cultivate you to be stronger or anything. No, don't even. I'm sorry to even mention that. But there does seem to be this thing where Satsuki's goals, in some ways, kind of don't really try to get rid of Ryuko.
Right. Like, because what she did here is she basically gave Ryuko a chance, a challenge.
Right, in some ways, yeah.
And I mean, Ryuko loves challenges, is the thing.
Like, I mean, her whole life is a challenge, so it's like she doesn't even have a choice.
She is a rebel to the core, so if someone tells her she can't do something, that's probably exactly the thing that she's going to do.
That's true.
And here Satsuki is basically giving her that bit of,
that ounce of
chance,
hope.
that ounce of hope, that basically the opportunity to be herself and be the rebel.
Yeah.
Which is really cool from a thematic standpoint, but also just from a plot standpoint. She's pretty insane and awesome.
But that's the thing. It's a contradiction. Is Satsuki's plan to do with this battlefield trip thing to take over the schools of Japan so that she has access to a larger army so that she can eventually take on her mother? If that's the case, I understand why she would integrate the pieces of Senketsu into like other hosts and stuff. It's basically just buffing her army.
Yep.
It's a way to get stronger because Senketsu is raw life fibers. You know, also that as well.
That's a lot of test subjects.
But the other thing is that why would you risk potentially losing any of that if, you know, Ryuko basically still has some of it? It's almost like she's saying, Ryuko, you're an interesting experiment, but I'm not done with you yet.
Well, so here's the thing. Whenever you have a commodity like this that can give some sort of buff or whatever, right?
Right.
You can dilute it and distribute it, right? Sure, and there's uses for that, like the battlefield trip, right? Which apparently is only supposed to last a day, and she said that before she got the Senketsu bits, so...
That's true, it's
how much benefit
quicker.
Is she actually going to get? But, you know, you really have to wonder about these things.
Yeah.
But, I mean, the better thing to do is instead of having a bunch of CR1s, you have one CR20.
Yes.
Right? So So this is more along that line of grooming Ryuko, right?
Yeah,
and
probably.
And, I mean, I'm just saying. Ryuko and Satsuki, when they do team up, and Satsuki kills Nui, or Ryuko kills Nui, or whoever kills Nui, because Nui needs to die, and Satsuki takes Nui's scissor blade,
right?
They will be a pretty badass, awesome, never losing their way combo.
Oh,
like,
wait a minute.
What?
So Nui, this episode, we found out that the mother doesn't control her, and even behind
doesn't really try to.
Well, yes, but one of the things that we also know we know for a fact that she doesn't control her is that Nui basically told her once Satsuki had left, saying, "Okay, I'm just going to do what I want." And Ragyo was like, "Okay,
just don't think just nothing will happen.
Don't incur the wrath of my daughter, or you will probably die. I can't vouch for your life." And Nui was like, "Oh, that's great. It's all the better for it." And then gives it's all right. It gives us a reason to see her go out, which is what you wanted all along, right? And Ragyo just kind of smiles, and it's like, okay, I get that. She's doing the research data thing on Satsuki as well.
With Junketsu.
And that's cool. But what's interesting here is that Nui's thing, when she went to go mess with Ryuko, is basically to find some way to get Ryuko to put Senketsu back on.
Right.
Now the thing is that that kind of seems like the same thing that, they're wanting to do with Junketsu and Satsuki,
Okay.
Get a see what they can do with it, right?
All right, sure.
But the thing with Nui is that, like, she was disappointed she wasn't getting a fight. Like,
yeah, she's just a wild dog.
I don't think she is.
Really?
I think there's something else there.
More devious?
Something not necessarily more devious, but okay. When we met Nui for the first time, she was kind of... Or wait, am I mixing up the other Deva with Nui?
I think you are.
Yeah, the music Deva, she kind of loves...
although
Satsuki.
Although Nui does seem to be...
Was Nui kind of flirty with Satsuki, though?
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking here. So...
Yeah, it's not cute at all when you, like, what was it? When Satsuki was, like... coming in and saying, like, that's enough,
Right. So what I'm thinking is that Nui is doing this out of jealousy.
Oh.
So I think Nui is doing this because she noticed that Satsuki has had something that's kept her attention.
Gotcha.
And Nui came here and stole the show. Traipsed all around and been like, oh, look at me, look at me, I'm all important. I think that Nui does these things as the childish way of getting attention.
Gotcha.
And specifically took away this thing that makes this person an equal to Satsuki in that respect.
Okay. I love
out
it.
of jealousy.
Now, let's zoom that out.
Yes.
And apply it to the entire show.
Right.
So, clothing is about a mask, right? That's one of the ways that Ragyo talked about it. But one of the other ways can be as a way to draw attention to the person by presenting a specific image. Right?
Yes.
Now, that's something that Nui certainly seems to be all about, drawing attention to herself and putting on the face that is needed when interacting with different people. And that is something that Ragyo seems to be very familiar with.
Oh, okay.
Because and it makes sense. She's the clothing person. She's the designer, and all that. Like all the time she did like the heel click, like it's like, okay.
Well, it was also a
like a turn.
Yeah, but we also have seen that with Satsuki, so it's showing Satsuki learned that from her mother.
Yeah, that too. But like it I feel like this is the point where in Gurren Lagann Simone is like thinking about like the drill and the spiral, and then it's like the galaxies, and it's like
it all makes sense. It's all connected.
It's all connected. What's connected? I don't know. Everything, nothing, maybe.
Yes.
And I feel like that's what's going on right here with Kill la Kill. And maybe, okay, maybe that's why Mako's so important. Okay, take Mako's design, right?
Yeah.
Now, all the designs in this show are very attention-grabbing, right? The one that isn't is Mako. She has the simple design. Her head is a circle, even with her hair. Like she's just there, right?
But I mean, she is Moe Blob.
Yeah, absolutely, and literally blob in the design. Like not much like detailed definition to shape or whatever. But because she is so unashamedly herself,
right?
She also draws the attention of everyone.
Yeah.
Even though she's kind of a nobody. Like she got grabbed by Ira here, right?
Yeah.
In this episode. And Ira kind of gave her special treatment here, which just does my heart so much good for the Ira Mako ship. But, like, think about it. Whereas Ryuko has very much the I'm the main character, I'm the badass. I enter into the story taking a bite out of a lemon with the peel still on,
Right.
And then there's Mako.
Okay.
Goofy.
Okay.
Ditzy. Mako. How did you even get into this high school?
Yeah.
And yet she is able to bring Ryuko to her senses. She is able to, do all this stuff. And then on the reverse of that, there's Satsuki, who is both very much herself, but then also absolutely puts up the masks that she needs to in order to get what she wants.
Yeah.
Like with her mother and stuff, with the clothes and the everything. But, yeah.
Okay, so I'm with you in the whole everything is connected thing, and this episode went in depth into that, but I think it's all in Ragyo's speech. I think Ragyo's speech basically tells us the hypocrisy of
her whole
Kiryuin
character
clan and her whole character.
Okay.
Is one where their whole goal is to clothe the world with the Revox, stuff.
Right, saying we are the exception, all other clothing is hidden, but we are awesome.
Well, no, she doesn't deny the fact that clothing is sin.
Right, she said, what did she say? She was like, she said something about like we understand what it truly means or whatever, or something like that.
Yeah, so I think what we can get the exact verbiage of this, later, but I think the gist of what she was saying was that we know why humanity desires clothing. We know why clothing is even a thing. And we can take from that our purpose is one that's innately tied to humanity, to clothe everything.
I see.
But
so this is even more like I'm a villain than like Scar singing Be Prepared. This is like clothing is sin, and we supply it to all the world.
I mean, like what's more tastefully delightful than sin? Like it's sinfully delightful. Yeah. There's so much about it where you can enjoy the revelry in clothing, but also you're right about the hypocrisy part.
Okay, keep going.
I think that in some ways clothing is something that Nudist Beach, specifically with their viewpoint, they've realized the pointlessness of it. And this is so funny. This is so funny that we're even talking about this, because, guys, I'm no nudist, like, IRL. Like, hear me out here.
No, actually, every Saturday he goes off to,
But, for real, I love to run. I love to run. You know what is the most stupid thing about running? You have to wear clothes while you're running.
Although underwear does help with making it just, But
okay,
yeah.
So what I'll tell you is that the less clothes you wear while running, the more it feels like you're flying.
This is true.
Now, I think that's why a lot of people love to skinny dip. It's because it combines two aspects about running naked that you don't get while running naked. One, when you run naked, you're above ground so people can see you.
Social consequences.
Social consequences. Second, you get the feeling of being touched all over your body while being naked.
Okay.
Now,
all right.
Also the floating effect feeling one.
Sure, to make it be more like flying. That's what I thought you were going to say, and then you're like, touched all over. I'm like...
But... here's the thing: when there's clothing, there's a stuffiness. There's a restriction to your movement. There's not as much freedom in that. And some people will joke about how, yes, I'm going there, joking about having the wind blow in specific places and stuff. And it's just like, it feels so free. I'm telling you guys, this is so funny that this anime is going into that, because I really do feel like, in a lot of ways, clothing is like one of these things that tells so much, I would say, about human nature and how deeply integral shame is to so much of our lives.
Sure.
And how much shame we're all willing to put up with. So, I'm just telling you, I think shame is one of the most disgustingly hideous things that we accept as a people.
Right, because we generally do accept it.
It's so gross and messed up. And this show is basically saying, yes, shame is, that's one reason why we have clothes and stuff. But we're going to sell that shame. We're going to make so much money. Yeah. We're going to rule the world with shame. And it's like, yes, that's so good.
Doesn't at all apply to our society today.
Then the other bit is that they then also buy into their own lie and then wear clothes. Whereas Nudist Beach is like, we only wear clothes so that we can hide amongst you people and you all don't find us and kill us. But our true form is revealed. And then we Nudist Beach. And hey, like, this show is basically like where nudity grants you strength, basically. Right. It basically is. So
now, okay.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to take that. Riff on it.
Go for it.
So, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Ragyo and the whole Kiryuin conglomerate, right? Is all about selling shame, sin, right? All that stuff.
Clothing.
Right. Clothing.
Yeah.
Now, traditionally, when you think about sin, it's this idea of indulgence, right? Of that thing that you're like, I shouldn't, but you know what? I just
Yes, this chocolate that is so delightful.
Right, exactly. It's positively sinful. Yes. Now, what is Satsuki like? Not indulgent.
Oh, okay.
So all the
she
stuff...
is self-controlled. Yes.
Yep, she is all about that.
Junketsu means purity.
So,
interesting.
So, here we have... So, in case you think that this whole thing of, like, Satsuki, like, going against, like, building up an army and all this stuff to eventually overthrow her mother is all just bogus that we've come up... I mean, it always could be. But, here's the thing. One of the things that oftentimes happens with children, with parents, is that there will be the things that they look at their parents and they say, that is wonderful, I want to be like them in that area. And then there's the things where they're like,
no,
maybe not that way, you know.
Right.
And that can cause a sort of self-fulfilling prophecy if that's what they focus on, but because Satsuki is such a badass, right? She's like, you know what? I'm
no need to worry about that.
Yeah, I don't need to worry about that, right?
Right.
So everything that she does, all of Hoyuin Academy, I'm saying that right? And
Honojin,
or
something like that.
Whatever. Satsuki's domain,
yes.
right? It is about order, discipline, and certainly with Ira running up the disciplinary action committee bureau or whatever. Yeah, he certainly helps to enforce it.
Yeah, the school is practically a military.
Exactly, right? Which is not at all about indulgence, which is just goes to show how deeply Satsuki has split from Ragyo as far as psychology and ideology goes.
Well, we don't know...
We don't know completely, because she is also very much a power-oriented, let's conquer and all that stuff, and what she's doing of taking over the schools and stuff, the whole point is to then basically drive... you know, like drive purchases of you know, Reebok's clothes for uniforms for the schools, right? However, with what we've seen of the two of them, I mean, we haven't seen a lot of how Ragyo goes about doing her thing, like how she makes the whole machine work, because she seemed to have a hands-off approach as far as we've seen so far. She had her speech here, but like with Nui, she was pretty hands-off, just like, oh, okay, you're gonna go do your thing. It's also sort of along the lines of what I want to happen. And then with Satsuki, it's, yeah, you do your thing. You have your responsibilities, and Satsuki's like, I have my responsibilities, so I'm gonna do these things. And she had no problem with that, right? So maybe it's not as diametrically opposed as I'm making it out to be, but from what we have seen thus far, and with the speech that Ragyo gave, I think that there's something there.
Yeah, I definitely think so too. The crazy thing, this episode is just how much we got with regards to building up future stuff. There's a lot of this episode that is hinting at like big things to come. You can just tell it's dripping with it. The other thing, like now that Nui did all this revolutionary kind of fake subterfuge stuff, this is something that
we should have seen that coming.
Seen what coming?
A character that we've never seen before shows up. I have been banned from school grounds indefinitely. What literally just happened to a new character last episode?
That's true.
They were banned from school grounds indefinitely.
Yep. It's pretty impressive, though, that the clothing changed the voice, too.
Yeah, anime, right?
I mean, no, I'm saying that clothing...
it could be like
clothing
a thing
is
in
power.
This world.
They could do anything then.
Yeah.
And this is not in some, like, this is the year, blah, blah, blah. This is, for all intents and purposes, a sci-fi, so almost anything is possible.
That's true.
Here.
I mean, Mako exists, so what isn't on the table?
I was going to say something about Nui, but I kind of got sidetracked in thinking about something else and lost what I was going to say.
A little bit about how she was in disguise, or how she was slowly trying to kill Ryuko as Satsuki stepped in. Or...
I guess the main thing is just that ending bit where she went to go fight Ryuko. She mentioned like how weird it was to see Ryuko reject her god robe, to reject Senketsu, and then all it took was the needing to defend the helpless, and how pathetically adorable and predictable that was.
Right.
And it's like, wait a minute, like, what do you mean that's predictably adorable?
Well, because she's the main character of this story and the hero that Roro fights the power and all that, or?
Well, I guess so. But
you're wondering if there's more to it?
But it seems like something where she's saying, because you have a god robe, maybe in some way, that's just kind of who you are. Like, there's nothing about Ryuko, I would say, according to what Nui might know, because Nui is so new to this whole thing. It just doesn't seem like Ryuko, based on what Nui observed,
would be the type
of person to just go and defend the weak. Just as much as Ryuko doesn't seem like the kind of person that would throw away her god robe and not, use it.
It could be that she just read the reports that Satsuki wrote.
Right.
Because that could be what it is. Because that was what brought Nui there in the first place, is that they heard about Ryuko.
Right.
So,
what I was trying to tie it to, and I don't think it works that well because you brought up some good points, is that Nui sees her as more of just a person wearing a god robe, and the god robe is what makes her who she is. The god robe is what gives her the ability to just kind of, I'll throw it on and stop everything. Whereas,
which is I like it.
Okay.
Which then would add even more to the idea of Satsuki leaving behind a scrap of Senketsu with Ryuko, because there's the saying the clothing makes the man, or however it goes, and the idea of like is this really Ryuko's power, right,
and
Ryuko's awesomeness that is causing all this stuff to happen, or is it just that she found Senketsu, right?
Right.
And you know, and that seems like the kind of thing that will happen a lot in sort of like the hero's journey type stories. Is that whenever the hero gets that crazy boon, they also need to learn how to live without it, so they're not dependent on it, right? Because it's all the hero's journey is about their personal growth that might have some like outside force that helps instigate that and get them going and sustaining them until they can become self-reliant,
right,
or inter-reliant, however the story goes. But this seems like if that's what Nui was like positing, then this is Satsuki directly contradicting it, and saying, I believe that you're more than just what you wear, right, which is a really cool like compliment and statement of belief from Satsuki, and belief from Satsuki, you can take that to the bank. Yeah. So
I think it was that, and in combination with the Ryuko bit talking with Senketsu alone, and Senketsu reminding her, you are, you know, I just get to be warned by you. Like there's nothing about me that kind of works independently.
I was made for you.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I am essentially a part of you, but I am not, you know, you are not subservient to me. I am not higher than you. I am not.
Ooh. Which then, again, ties in direct contradiction to what Ragyo seems to be all about. Because Ragyo is very much focusing on the clothing, right? It makes sense she's in the clothing industry. But like, and the abilities of, say, Junketsu, you know, when Satsuki starts fighting seriously and all these sorts of things, which is the opposite, but then it also ties into the whole idea that we were talking about earlier of the idea of control, right? The idea that she believes maybe that people should be subservient to their clothes, because the whole idea of Ryuko going crazy, that seemed more like you know, subarashi, you know.
I still kind of like, I'm with you on the idea that Senketsu enabled this type of crazy, you know, aspect of it and multiplied the rage. Yeah. But that was Ryuko going out of control.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. No, completely. Okay. And that's why I think it's important, because they're basically saying different perspectives on the thing. From Ragyo's perspective, it was probably Senketsu, right? But that's not actually what it was.
Gotcha. From her perspective, she believes it to be that.
And maybe that's because that's the angle, that's what she's trying to direct it towards, or whatever, or, you know, who knows, right?
Or Satsuki's just that next level with her 4D chess moves and is sending reports with slight doctored information. Sure. Specifically, you know, to keep Ragyo slightly in the dark.
Well, and one other thing to think about, and this might be, because, okay, Senketsu versus Junketsu. All right. Senketsu means like blood or whatever, something like that, right?
Yeah, I think it just means blood.
Yeah, and then Junketsu means purity. Now,
red and white.
Right. If you were to assume which of these legendary items would be easiest to attune to, you would assume it would be the one that's called purity and it's for lawful good alignments or whatever, rather than blood. You know, that's like going to be some con saves where you take damage and crap, right?
Right. Hey, literally it does, though.
Well, yeah, it does, but
drinks your blood.
Right, but that was an easy fusion with Ryuko. Okay. With Satsuki, she had to assert her will over it. She had to bring it to bear.
She had to break it like a horse.
Right, she had to break it. And that was something supplied by her mother.
Just saying. Yep.
I mean, you know.
That in some ways, Junketsu's whole being in the plot kind of tells us how the ending of this show is kind of going to be.
Sure.
Because in some ways, I think the Junketsu God robe will essentially have some point where the mother will be like, and no, and we'll try and reassert control
over Satsuki.
And then that's Satsuki, how Satsuki will have to be either be forced to fight Ryuko, and then Ryuko will help her not lose her way.
Right, exactly.
And then they'll go and turn on together.
Let's
towards
see
Ragyo.
her grit those teeth.
Right, but also showcasing that Ragyo has some means by which she can utilize clothing to control the wearer.
Right, and then so that will then make it even more awesome when when Ryuko and Satsuki cross their scissors because Nui is dead at this point. And don't lose your way! And then they both go up for like a simultaneous slash at Ragyo, and it's amazing. Right. Maybe Ragyo will have some crazy
they're not actually gonna
final
snip,
transformation.
You know?
No, probably not. I mean, maybe as like they do like a
they'll cut
Mortal
the
Kombat
metaphorical
no,
Jacob. There's an ultimate Jacob. The Nui has the whole like fiber
thread
of index
fingernails.
That she breaks. The special one that ruins everything.
The Nexus fiber.
Nexus fiber. They have to cut the ultimate Nexus fiber with this snip. And once they do that, everything will Phantom Menace and
right. Or maybe the Nexus thread is like at the base of the neck, and they have to both slice it at the same time to carve out that little right there. But
all right, guys. Anyways, we can go on rambling for a while. This is a fantastic episode. Great setup, good twist at the end.
Yeah,
Jacob, I'm impressed you caught on to it, but I don't think either of us knew that it was actually Nui, like until way longer than we should have.
Yeah, we should have like freaking.
We should have clued in a long time
This person
ago.
was banned from the school premises, and we don't know why. You know, it's like.
Yeah, well done, Kill la Kill. Well done. You pulled a fast one on us. But alright guys, if you want to see the next episode's reaction right now, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get an early access there. Any level of support gets you access to our Discord where you can chat with us about stories or whatever. And if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.